Hello, welcome friends. I welcome you all to the diploma courses of MSBTE. Now, as you have completed your admissions to the diploma courses, you must be eager what we are going to study in this semester. So, this presentation is for you where we are going to see the curriculum for first semester and that for the course Basic Physics. As here you can see, the course abbreviation is BSc and course code is 311305, and this is the case scheme which has been implemented by MSBT from the year 2023-2024, and this case scheme is implemented according to the new education policy 2020. In this slide, we are going to see the teaching, learning and assessment scheme, theory learning outcomes which are called COs, laboratory learning outcomes which are called LLOs, assessment methodologies for the whole semester, and the websites and portals from which you can gather more information from the various sources. In the case scheme, this is the learning and assessment scheme for diploma courses. The MSBT conducts various diploma courses like automobile engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, food technology, mechanical engineering, and more. This case scheme has been implemented from the year 2023-24, and the diploma courses consist of 6 semesters. In each year, there are 2 semesters and each semester is divided into 16 weeks. As in the slide you can see, there are various courses like basic mathematics, basic science, communication skills, that is English, engineering graphics, engineering workshop practices, fundamentals of ICT and yoga and meditation. At the same time, in these courses, there are specific hours allocated to Indian Knowledge System IKS, and also self-learning activities are there. Under self-learning activities, student has to complete the activities like financial literacy, Unnat Abhiyan and NSS activities. Then in the assessment scheme you can see there are 3 theory courses for basic mathematics, basic science and communication skills, and all other courses are the practical courses. So the theory scheme is also consists of formative assessment and summative assessment, and this formative assessment and summative assessment is for theory course as well as for practical course also there. So the total marks including the self-learning activities have been given at the rightmost side, in which you can see the total marks distribution for each course. Then there are some abbreviations which are written below the table. Then there are some legends also, so that can be seen in the board where star indicates the online examination, star and hash. Hash indicates external assessment, @ indicates internal assessment. So in this way we can see the various abbreviations and various courses of this assessment, learning and assessment scheme. Let us see the teaching, learning and assessment scheme for the course Basic Physics. As all of we know, the code for Basic Physics is 311305. The course title is Basic Science, and in this Basic Science 2 titles are included, Physics and Chemistry. The abbreviation is BSc, and total IKS hours for this course is 4 hours, and self-learning activity is also included in Basic Science. So this is all about the learning scheme. Now let us move towards the assessment scheme. As here you can see, The paper duration for theory paper is 1.5 hours, in which formative assessment and summative assessment both are included. At the same time, there is practical assessment is also there, which also includes formative assessment and summative assessment. Also, the SLA marks, that is self-learning assessment marks, are also included. So in total, as you can see, the total marks for this basic science is 250 marks and the total credits are 5 credits. So this is about the teaching and learning assessment scheme. In this slide, we are going to see the rational and course learning outcomes. The fundamental information to help students apply basic concepts and principles of physics to solve broad-based engineering problems. What are the basic concepts? The concepts like heat, electricity, optics, magnetism, semiconductors, engineering materials in understanding the technology courses in various domain applications. So this is the rationale. As here you can see, it is very basic. So as the name of the course is basic science, so rationale is also very basic. In the first semester, what are the course level outcomes? Means what students are going to study in the whole semester regarding to this basic science course or basic physics course. The CO1 is use basic instruments to measure physical quantities in various engineering situations. So here we are going to use the basic instruments like vernier caliper, micrometer, screw gauge, from which we can measure the various physical quantities. We also have practical regarding to the CO1. CO2 is apply the basic principles of electromagnetics to solve given engineering problems. Now here the electromagnetism comes into picture, where we are going to see the very basic concepts of electromagnetics and how we can utilize the various basic principles to the engineering applications. The CO3 is apply basic principles of thermometry and fiber optics to solve engineering problems. Now this CO3 is little bit to the modern science, that is the thermometry and fiber optics. The fiber optics is used nowadays in the information technology. So fiber optics has very broad uses in this technical scenario. So these are the course level outcomes that we are going to study in the whole semester. Now what are the laboratory learning outcomes that we are going to see in the next slide. Now let us see the laboratory learning outcomes. Those are also called as LLOs. So here are the various LLOs. Now these LLOs are nothing but the practicals which we are going to perform in the whole semester. Now see here LLO1, use of vernier caliper. Now what we are going to do with the vernier caliper? Now what is vernier caliper might be the new word to you, but when we study about the practicals, at that time we are going to see what are the vernier calipers. So vernier caliper is used to measure the dimensions of various objects and also to estimate the errors in measurements. LLO2 is also the same. Here only we are going to change the instrument, that is micrometer, screw gauge. With this micrometer, screw gauge, we are going to measure the dimensions of object and also to estimate the errors in measurements. LLO3 is, you must be familiar with that, that is related to the Ohm's law. LLO4 is this is also related to the Ohm's law, but in this LLO4 we are going to measure the specific resistance of given wire. Then LLO5, where we are also going to measure the series connection of resistors, and LLO6 we are going to measure the series resistance of parallel combination. LLO7 is there, where we are going to use magnetic compass. LLO8 where we are going to use, or where we are going to see the semiconductors. So these are the LLOs. So in total we are having total 15 LLOs. Out of those 15 LLOs we are going to study the 12 LLOs. Now let us see the next LLOs in the next slide. Here are the rest of the LLOs. Determine forbidden energy band gap in semiconductors. LLO10 is use Joule's calorimeter to determine Joule's mechanical equivalent of heat. Then LLO 11 is determine the pressure volume relation using Boyle's law. LLO 12 use Newton's law of cooling to determine the rate of heat loss due to convection phenomenon. So, and LLO 13 use Schur's thermal conductivity apparatus to find coefficient of thermal conductivity of given material. In bracket here you can see virtual lab word is mentioned. Now what is this virtual lab? So all of we know the practical we conduct in the laboratory physically, but in virtual lab we are going to perform this experiment on the virtual laboratory website. So this is the very new concept included in this case scheme where we are going to perform these experiments on virtual lab also. So this is a very innovative concept that has been included by MSBTE, and these LLOs we are going to perform in the whole semester, and these LLOs the student must be able to understand the practical outcomes of these LLOs. Now let us move forward to the assessment methodology. Now this, as we have seen already, the assessment consists of formative assessment as well as summative assessment. The formative assessment, see here, formative assessment consists of 2 unit tests of 30 marks, in which 15 marks are allotted for physics and 15 marks are allotted for chemistry, and in the final when you get your mark sheet you will see the average of the 2 units test have been included, that is from first unit test and second unit test the average is included in the final mark sheet. For laboratory learning also you are having formative assessment for 25 marks for physics and 25 marks for chemistry. The next one is summative assessment. Summative assessment is always done at the end of semester. So the end semester exam, as you can see, it is for 50 marks and the time allocated for the end semester exam is for 1.5 hours. So 25 marks for physics and 25 marks for chemistry. The end semester assessment for theory is for 70 marks and it is online MCQ exam, which student have to give on the personal computer, which is the lab is being provided by the college itself. So in this way the assessment methodology for basic physics is included in this way, which consists of formative assessment as well as summative assessment. So, and the advantage for case scheme is that you are having combined passing, means if you get formative assessment and summative assessment you have to obtain 40 marks. So this is a very new concept in the case scheme where student have to pass their course with the combined mark passing. These are the various learning websites and portals from where we can gather more information regarding to the course. So Physics Classroom, NPTEL, where you will find various courses in basic physics, Hyperphysics, YouTube, IKS India, where you can see the various innovations which were already innovated by the Indian scientist previously, and sciencejoywagon.com, where you can see various physics materials and learning materials. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you.